Hi, everyone. This is Norman Kochnick here with the preview to the England England versus India Test Series, the 5 Test matches, which are about to start tomorrow, August the 4th, in Nottingham in Trent Bridge, or Trent Bridge in Nottingham. This match will be the first of 5 tests. There'll be a lot of interesting changes made to the side. I'm waiting for some guests to join now. We shouldn't be very far away from that. I've uploaded some great vision of both, some little bit of training, the captain's call with the trophies. I've also uploaded the walk around the stadium. This is in Trent Bridge, just a bit of an observation of the match. Very interesting indeed. Virat Kohli, of course, and Joe Root were there. We heard from James Anderson in a media conference a little bit earlier on as well. So it's all gearing up for tomorrow's session. It should be very interesting indeed. We'll have a number of people joining us very shortly. So it's going to be very, very much an action-packed event indeed. Again, 5 test matches. A la Ashes, I'll call it. The England-India Ashes. I'm not sure they've got a term for it at this point, but it'll be very intriguing to see what that's actually going to unfold. And obviously, we'll talk more about it very shortly, but you have the likes of Mayank Agarwal, who has gone down after being hit by a Siraj bouncer in the nets. They've already lost the likes of Shubman Gill. Rohit Sharma's there to open up the batting with Pujara, you would imagine, with Kohli and, let's hope and fit Rahane. Rahane was hampered by a hamstring injury in the pre-match. Kohli had somewhat of a small back. So there were some issues there. There's Vihari in the wings. Ishwarn is also there. Prithvi Shaw and Sky Kumar Yadav are pretty much on their way to coming across at some stage in the next week or so from Sri Lanka. They're in isolation there. Of course, they were amongst a scare that happened in Sri Lanka. So you will see Prithvi Shaw and Sky Kumar Yadav coming perhaps the second or third test. But at this point in time, Rohit Sharma's there, and the opening partner of him, well, whether it will in fact be potentially Iswaran or it could be KL Rahul. There's even some discussion I've seen today from Extra Time that they may even bring Shardul Thakur in as the extra player, which will mean a batting lineup shuffle. You might see even Pujara open and have Kohli up to first, Rahane second, Punt and Shardul Thakur come in there. Who knows whether that's the case? There is some thought about adding an extra bowler, so that will be of interest as well. I don't know exactly whether that'll be the case, but we're going to be talking about that today, very much so. Of course, Australia playing. I've got a video here of a live coverage soon of Australia playing Bangladesh as well. That's another series which is taking place as we speak. That will be of great interest, of course, to Australians. It's a T20 series in Bangladesh. Bangladesh actually fancy themselves pretty much of actually doing well in that series, which is very interesting indeed. We'll see whether that actually happens. A lot to be said about that. Beautiful. Barabarani is obviously watching the match because he's just did a beautiful ball by Zampa. Yeah, that's. I'm not seeing evidence of that right now, but the reality is that Australia, with Adam Zampa, really is a bowler that should be considered as a test bowler, I think, as well. But go back to the match. Barabarani will put the Australia-Bangladesh match on hold for the moment. That match is there. There are some selections in that match. I could rattle off while we're waiting for people to come. Let's have a look if I can find that the actual team makeup of the Australian side. But before we get there, the reality is, hi Munchie, how are you? Chris Vernon's coming on apparently. I was hoping to get Monty Panesar here too today. There's a few other people meant to be coming on, but we'll wait and see. This particular pre-show is specifically about the team makeup. I don't quite know what will transpire. Obviously, we'll find out more tomorrow. We can have some conjecture today regarding both England and both Barabarani and, of course, Munchie. You should both be adding to that discussion. There's been a fair bit of discussion already about the team selections. I was just going to pick up. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We've got here. We are going to get some guests, guys. Don't worry. We're going to get some guests. It might be a bit slow in coming. I've just been uploading videos quite handsomely there. You'll notice that I put up 2 videos. One about specifically the captain's call, as they call it. Yeah, there's quite a bit going on there, I can assure you. Vera Coley and Joe, they get along pretty well. Pretty much, I think they get along quite well. Actually, it's an intriguing bunch of people that we have there. I would argue that the England side is less, let's call it less sedate. They've got a few more changes. Obviously, they've been rocked by the loss of Ben Stokes. Again, an incredibly important part of the team regarding the balance of all-rounder with bowler and batter. We've got a situation there where it's very likely that, okay, so Munchie's, my English team for tomorrow is, we'll go through that in a minute, Munchie, but we'll get to, so you think Hamid's in there? That's interesting. Who was the best batter opening to in there? Or Harry or Carl Rahul? Well, there's a lot of talk about Shardul Thakur coming to the side. If that's the case, it'll be a real shuffle. But a lot of discussion at the moment about who will bat the batting. Really, it probably will be Vihari, or Rahul's also there. So it'll be interesting. We'll see. So we'll go through those connections just in a minute. The England team brought Anderson. Well, we saw evidence of Anderson in the media conference, which has just transpired. He's there, and it does look like he will be playing with the likes of Broad. So let's just quickly bore ourselves. I shouldn't say bore. So that's nasty. Munchie, we'll pick yours. Look at your sleep. You're looking at Burns, and you're not saying Sibley. You're saying Hamid opening. Well, he did play well in the pre-match. Could put him in form. Crawley, Root, Pope, Butler as the keeper. Ben Folkes not around. Moeen Ali, okay, and Sam Curran, I'm assuming. Robinson, Broad, Anderson. Is Chris Wokes not available? I think he might be available. That's a pretty good side. I mean, you would think Sibley's more likely to play, but Hamid maybe shows the first. We're not sure. I would agree with most of that side. Butler, Bairstow's floating around, of course, as well. Moeen Ali is the spinner, well, as opposed to using the likes of either Jack Leach. So Sam Curran, Robinson, yes, Broad, Anderson. Well, Mark Wood could be there as well. So that's pretty good start. So Scrub Ali, okay, replace it with Wood. So you're saying no? You're not saying so. Munchie, you're saying that Ali's not going to play, not the squad, but wouldn't they have a spin bowl there in Leach, or you don't think so? They're going to put Wood in. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, Hamid did play well against Bumrah, Siraj, and Umesh Yadav, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he'll be in, but he should be figuring in the test series. Whether it's the first test will be interesting. I'm not sure what the English media are saying about that. That'll be interesting to see what they're actually talking about. Now, Chris Vernon was meant to be joining us. So is quite a few others, actually. But this pre-show is generally a good chat about the potential size. Now, it certainly did look like from James Anderson's interview that they feel they're prepared, perhaps not overly prepared, but a little bit prepared. So Munchie saying Leach and Best are in the squad, but not sure if they are carrying scars at the Indian series last winter. Well, they may well have been, but I don't think you see Best going. But I think Leach will probably be worthy of a Guernsey. I think. Who was the best one to open again? That's been asked already. So Vihari's looks, he has opened the batting, so there's a good chance of him being on the side. I'm not sure where everybody else is at this point in time, but yeah, it would be pretty good to have a bit of depth there with the side. Parnasani should be here as well. I don't know where she is. I'm going to find out where she is now. Okay, all right. So yes, a lot of discussion about the teams at this point in time. I would argue that we're going to see a lot of predictability about the Indian team. And what I mean by that is you're probably going to see them not change too many players. They have to change the opening batter. We know that. They've lost already. Shubman Gill, they've lost Mayank Agarwal has done his recent last few days, which is very frustrating. Rohit Sharma still continues to be there with Pujara. Either Pujara stays at number 3, and if that's the case, a KL Rahul or a Vihari will come in. But there is discussion about if Agarwal's not playing, that Shardul Thakur would come into the batting lineup, and that would mean that perhaps Pujara would go to number 2, and have what therefore would mean that Kohli, followed by Rahane, and then the likes of Punt, again Ashwin and Jadeja with Thakur. Then obviously they'd have, well, look at this stage, Ishant Sharma, Shami, and Bumrah, with Siraj very, very close to being selected. But he should be figuring the test series. Whether he gets in the first one will be interesting. So that's my thoughts at this early stage. I'm not sure where everybody is. Aparna should have been here by now, but she doesn't seem to have been. Don't know where she is, but that's okay. Just see whether she's there or not. She'll be coming on soon. So it looks as though people are able to come on. You're all getting that that information. Okay, let's have a look here. Weather forecast not looking great though. Wednesday and Thursday are okay, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday looking dodgy. So Wednesday being the first day of the test, followed by Thursday, you're okay, but Friday, Saturday looking dodgy. Well, what does dodgy mean? I don't know. Well, Virat makes centres in grass pitch. You bloody well hope so. He deserves to be there. About time he does well. And Sharari says Kale and Shaw should first bat, and then Rahane. Well, Kale's the only possibility. Prithvi Shaw's not there yet. So Rahane, Kohli, Punt, Pujara, Ashwin, Aksar plus Bumrah, Shami, Siraj might keep 11 for Beth. Okay, the only doubt is that whether Aksar gets put in front of Shardul Thakur. There's a lot of discussion about Shardul Thakur actually. Had a good dry spell, would have favoured India, but the recent rain will bring back the game back to the centres. Okay, all right, Munchie. We're just wondering where Chris Vernon is. He's meant to be here. We're meant to have Aparna Saini on as well. I don't know where she is. Just wait until I see if we can grab her. Aparna? Okay. She's coming on. We're just waiting on a few others. So there's no doubt that this test series will hinge on the batting again. And the bowling lineups, both sides are pretty sound, which means that they've got they both bowling sides are particularly strong with Anderson, Broad, and with possibly Wood, Robinson, and even Chris Wokes down the track. They've got very strong bowling lineups. Well, the England side certainly has. The Indian side also has a very strong bowler. With Bumrah placed to form, Shami, obviously the likes of or Thakur's in the mix. You've got Ishant Sharma, you've got Mohammad Siraj. So the bowling lines on both sides are particularly strong. I've got no concerns about either of those bowling lineups, but I'm more concerned about the batting. That's where the real concern to me comes. The Indian batting lineup is being destabilised by Mayank Agarwal out and Shubman Gill both out. Agarwal may not be out for the second test, but he's certainly out for the first. And that's and the reality is that you've got Rohit Sharma, who's still not necessarily better down his opening position, but he will be there with Chris Vernon has joined us. Welcome, Chris.
Hello.
Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you just fine.
All right. Well, we've got ourselves a new series starting up.
We have. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
We've got Simon Willis. I think he's going to join us when he gets some time. David Gravely, well, he may not stay, but he will be. We've got Adam hopefully joining us. There's quite a few coming involved, and yourself, of course. And we've got a partner now. Yeah, we've got Alan joining us, but he's going to be on good behaviour, so don't worry, Chris. Okay?
Okay.
Isn't that right, Alan?
Take a step back, hang on.
Alan, we're on good behaviour. That we're talking about the test, nothing else. Okay. All right. So,
You're right.
Alan, can you hear us?
Yes.
Well, say hello.
I just quickly.
So we've got a partner joining us as well. So,
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
Now, Chris, just quickly spent the past couple of weeks.
I'm finding it hard to hear you, Alan. So you must speak up and loudly and get it clear, please. You've been on so many times not to be able to get it clear. Okay. So, Chris.
Hello.
You see Munchie's side?
I did see Munchie's side. I think you sent it to me yesterday. Yeah. I think it's the same one that I assume he's gone with Hamid to open the batting. I think, hasn't he? Is that right?
Yeah. Hamid opening the batting. He did well in the tour match, but does that necessarily equate to him giving the first up job in the first test?
I'd be tempted to, but I don't see them changing just from Sibley. I think Sibley's probably got another 2 or 3 tests left. So I'd be very surprised if they change it up. And certainly what was coming out of Trent Bridge this morning on the sports news suggested that Sibley probably gets the nod. So
no doubt. So you'd say Sibley with, of course, Burns. You'd have Crawley still going first drop.
Yeah, Root 4, Pope 5. And then it just depends what they want to do, whether they pick like Lawrence to bat 6 and then have Butler 7, Curran 8, Robin. It depends if they want to play spinner. And from what was suggested this morning on the news article, I saw that there's plenty of grass on it at Trent Bridge. So I imagine they probably feel like India want to play 2 spinners. So I'd be just sticking as much grass on it as possible and saying, well, good luck if you want to do that. So I think they'll play Curran and Ollie Robinson to try and, obviously Stokes is a big miss. They'll probably try and play 2 bowling all-rounders to try and cover the batting, if that makes sense. So I imagine Sam Kerr and Ollie Robinson will probably bat 7 and 8 or 8 and 9, and then they'll go Broad Anderson spinner, or Lawrence maybe as number 6.
So the big, what you're basically, and I'm sure Alan will agree with this, the whole discussion has been turned upside down because Ben Stokes is not there, correct?
Yeah.
It's caused a lot of uncertainty whether they're going to have another bowler, another batter, a potential Arana and a Sam Curran. It's really. Do you think Sam Curran would have been selected if Ben Stokes was there?
Possibly. I think they would have had to think about it because obviously Wokes is injured, which you feel pretty sorry for. But yeah, I think he would have definitely been in contention. He's just something different, isn't he? You know, Alan as a left armer, like he would appreciate how much difference a good left armer can bring to his side, and Curran certainly would do that. So.
Yeah, there's Al. What do you think of Ben Stokes not being selected? Obviously, he's got that mental injury, mental illness.
I just put some notes down. I don't normally do this, Chris. You're a journalist. I'm not. I did work in that world, but
I'm not a journalist.
Root is Root just wants Ben Stokes to be okay. Now, here's the thing, right, with that one. I wish him well. I'll tell you, Ben Stokes, I would dare say, is struggling because of his late father. Yeah? Is that fair to say, Chris?
Yeah, I'd imagine that definitely factors in. Yeah, definitely.
Well, you know what? My dad passed away in 2009, October the 24th, buried November the 4th. I was doing my helicopter license in Sydney. And you know what? And no one knows this. We spoke about it. I went through massive depression. My mum, can you please do me a favour? Shut all doors. I'm busy.
Okay. So,
no, I'm being dead serious now. I went through massive depression. He was my best mate. And, it's horrendous. Yeah, and you know what? All of a sudden, cricket, and it just goes out the window. It depends how close you are to your family. Like Shane Warne, right? When he was doing his thing with ladies, I know Shane very well, right? Chris, you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening. No, I'm listening. I'm listening.
He was my neighbour in Hampshire, and the amount of times he said to me, Al, I'm going to try and keep it straight. Blah, 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 blah. Many times Kerry Packer phoned him up to get his life together, right? Some people just don't care. When my dad passed away, it destroyed me. For quite a while, I went through massive depression. He's my best mate. And all of a sudden, I was semi-pro then for lashings. I was like, I went to a stage where I don't care if I wake up tomorrow. And my dad died of, I'll be quite blunt now, not many people know this, right? I went through a stage where I was lying in bed and my dad died all of a sudden of a heart attack, Chris, right? Came over. I spoke to my dad on the Friday morning in Sydney. I was on my helicopter license with a girl I was going to get married to from Chelsea, gorgeous girl. And then Saturday I got a phone call. After I was coaching Randwick Petersham, by the way, in Norman, which is Cato, his club, Simon Caddick's club, right?
All right.
We went to
Alan, I'm very conscious of the fact we're talking about that, but it's really important we get on with the test series itself. A lot of people
yeah, my point is, it is important, Norman. It is important, right? Because there's more to life than cricket. And I know we'll get onto the cricket, but if Ben Stokes wants time away, go for it. That's all I will say.
Okay. So back to the side. Crawley, Chris, as far as you're concerned, Crawley needs to perform, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure on the top order, really. I think Joe Root needs 10 runs to become England's all-time leading run scorer across all formats. I think that's right.
Chris, how would you bowl to Joe Root?
How would I bowl to Joe Root? I don't think anything I bowl to Joe Root would matter too much, to be honest. But I imagine that India will probably try.
How would you bowl to Joe Root as a club cricketer? A very good club cricketer.
Well, you tie up one. You tie up. Alan, you tie up. If you play bowling to an off-stop line, he's as controllable as anyone else, really. On an England wicket, though, with the ball moving, he will have difficulty like anyone else will.
I imagine that they'll probably try and hang it out to dry a bit, and then maybe try and dive one into the pads. He often can get LBW early on, can't he? So I imagine. And it's a classic.
Easy to bowl to.
It's easy.
This is my opinion. Okay. He'll top his game. Me on top of my game. Oh, please, come on in, soldier.
So Munchie's got a good point. Munchie said that there are two gullies and averages out off stump. He has been caught in the gully region often enough and is susceptible like anyone being taken. Wait a minute. Shahid Manjul saying that Ollie Pope is injured. Is that right, Chris?
I don't know. I mean, I've been really busy the last couple of days, so I haven't followed the. I mean, he might be. I can try and have a check, but
I haven't heard that. But okay, there's one thing for sure: they're going to be putting Anderson and Broad together, aren't they? And they're going to be putting. You're saying Robinson, but they won't put Wood. You don't think Wood will be in there?
I think the problem they've got for Wood is that I don't think he can get through 5 tests. I think it's pretty much accepted that he can't get through 5 tests. So
Broad's passed it. Anderson's passed it. We've got 2 players and one's out.
I don't think either Broad or Anderson are past it. I think that's pretty harsh.
Excuse me.
Okay, just take a step back for that.
Very, very polite.
Alan, just hang back a second. Let's take a step back.
I'm being very polite. They're very good athletes, but
anyway, he may not be in the side. It may well be Wood. Maybe Robinson. Alan has been bowling particularly well. He was only outed because of that stupid Twitter/Instagram thing that he was involved with. He looked the goods in the test against New Zealand, didn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he. I think they'll play him. I think he is the goods. I think that there was a stat, or if you take out Jason Holder, he has the highest release point of anyone in world cricket because he gets very torn his action.
Pardon? Who is that, Chris? I'm going to ask you a question. Who is our opening batsman?
Who is our opening batsman? Well, it'll be Crawley, Sibley and Burns, won't it, I think?
Now ask me, why did I ask you that question?
Why did you ask me that question?
Because I ain't got a clue.
Yeah, I think that's what they'll stick with.
Not that I don't have a clue. It means they haven't had an impact.
No, I think Burns has had a good summer. Burns got 100 in the Test against New Zealand and in the 60. I'd personally be going with Hamid. I think that they want to get Hamid back in. Got 100 against India in the warm-up game, so I imagine that Sibley will probably get the first 2 tests, and then they'll just go from there. But I think Hamid is in the plans to come in for sure. But Burns has had a good summer, so I imagine he'll be a mainstay into the Ashes as well, and then it'll just be to see what they do with Sibley.
Now, Bahram Irani's being very sarcastic. He's saying better spare Sibley and Burns and just start the score from 20 for 2. I don't think that's going to happen somewhere. All right. So, okay. So the England lineup again, we'll go through it one more time, Chris. Sibley Burns, Crawley, Root, Pope. You're then saying maybe Lawrence, or maybe they'll go with Butler straight away.
I think they'll go with another batsman, and if it's a green wicket, the weather is very gloomy and very cloudy. I think they might just pick 4 seamers and go with batting at Trent Bridge. If it was Old Trafford or the Oval, I think they would go 1 less batsman and pick Leach or Bess as a spinner. I think they'll just go 4 seamers at Trent Bridge. They did it against New Zealand in the 2 tests. They picked 4 seamers in both. So I imagine they'll go Lawrence at 6, Butler 7, Curran 8, Robinson, Broad and Anderson, I imagine. Maybe.
But Sam Curran, in my opinion, they should put Sam Curran
I'm making the comeback
to be the Ben Stokes replacement. What, Al?
I'm going to make a comeback for Australia. I did play for young Australia. At 52, that batting lineup, give me the ball. If I was 21, that batting lineup, give me the ball.
Norman, I need to go for 2 minutes. So I'll be back on in 2 minutes. I've just got to take a phone call.
Okay. All right. So, Alan, have you had a look at the Indian side?
I looked at a few bits. Your man's out with a concussion. Agarwal.
Well, Mayank Agarwal is now out because he has a form of concussion from having been hit by Mohammad Siraj by a short ball in practice, which is unfortunate because he was going to open with Rohit Sharma. Shubman Gill's already out.
They train very hard. Look, I'm wearing this for a reason, Norman. Norman, see this?
Yep.
It's my last World Cup shirt, right? Jumper. I'm wearing it for a reason. I want England to win. But this is a precursor for the Ashes, right? Now, I know you're Australian, and I'm English, and I'm wearing your cap, and I'm wearing my last World Cup jumper, right? I think we're on a hiding to nothing. I think India's a brilliant team. And I think Australia is going to destroy us. We've got nobody. We ain't got no. Who's going to bowl Australia out? Australia always finds a team. They always. The one thing Warney always said that Hampshire has been a friend of mine for over 30 years. We always find a way. When it's in Hampshire, we have to find a way. And sometimes the guys just couldn't do it. And the times that Shane blew a fuse at Hampshire, and I say, Shane, calm down. And you go to the physio room and sit down and go, and I sit next to him and go, do you think I was a bit rough? Yeah, these guys can't do what you can do. Calm down. But he goes, well, they've got to find a way. I just, look.
I'm just going to try. I'm trying to get my...
Norman, Chris might not know this. Nobody. We ain't got no...
Yeah, hang on. Okay, I'm just trying to get there's a volume problem with my phone. I'm sorry. So, okay. Chris.
Norman, Chris might not know this, right? I'm wearing this for a reason, right?
Yeah.
I want us to win, like you cannot believe. I left Ferndale, a rough part of town here in Perth, right, with $100, 40 quid, and a one-way airline ticket when I was 18. The worst airline with my left arm, because I wanted to play for England. I'm very, very passionate. But I don't know. Just don't know. I don't care about India at the moment. I care about the Ashes. That's the main thing. To win the Ashes, to win the World Cup.
Yeah.
I just don't know what we've got. What? Chris, explain to me. What do we have out here in Australia when it's very hot? Like Adelaide. I played there in Adelaide. I was stood there with Goffey. We lost the toss. And it was 44 degrees. And as you know, Norman, there was no Fremantle doctor. It was hot. I just want us to win, but I don't know. I don't know if we've got the players.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I want to get back to the sides. I want to talk about the sides now. We're going to talk about both England and Indian sides. Now, let's get in on the Indian side now, Chris. I want your thoughts. You've heard Shubman Gill's out. You've got the likes of Mayank Agarwal at least out for the first test because of his concussion to the Siraj short ball. Rohit Sharma's left. Who is he going to open with?
Rahul, maybe.
Yes. The two choices are either Rahul or Vihari, as well as Eswaran as well, who's meant to be the support opening bat. He's a specialist opening bat. Whether they throw him, it'll be a bit of a big call, but I think they should put Rahul in it if you're right. There's been a lot of talk. A lot of Indian channels have been talking about Shardul Thakur coming in as a replacement for Agarwal. Not to open the batting, but in a reshuffled batting lineup for him to be included.
Yeah, it depends if India. I assume the reason they haven't announced their side yet, because they usually like to announce it early, is because they probably got bitten on the arse a bit in the World Test Championship, where they named two spinners ridiculously on a pitch that they shouldn't have done, and they probably realised that in England you can't just do that. Just because they're your best two bowlers in India doesn't mean they're the best two bowlers in all conditions. So I'd be amazed if they played two spinners. From what I heard this morning, and the news reporter said, this pitch looks very green. So if England had cut all the grass off, they'd be stupid because we'll play four seamers and India might probably play two spinners. Like it'd be
played, Chris?
It's Trent Bridge.
Oh, yeah, it's changed. When I played there, it was like you run up Mount Everest to bowl the ball. It's different now. Yeah. Leave the grass on. I'm with you, Chris. Leave the grass. Over here, it's going to be different. Over here, I think that Anderson and Broad don't turn up. Find some new grass and try again. But if there's leave the grass on the wicket, and Anderson, there's the ball. Broady, there's the ball. And you know what? If there's grass on the wicket and England wins a toss, play ball. Because Anderson, he's 40. He is brilliant at home. Really, you can't take it away from him. He is absolutely fantastic. Just leave the grass on the wicket and let him get. There you go. Andy, there you go, boy. Do your thing.
Yeah.
And Chris Broad, do your thing. And I also think that Chris Broad has lost confidence. It might be me, I don't know. But he's gone from batting 9 to 10 to 8 to 11. As a rubbish batsman, I can tell you that hurts your confidence.
Yeah.
I was trapped, Chris, as you know, right, as a batsman. And Norman, you know this very well. Test average about 5.2. But unless you're batting 10, I'm like, you'll be guilty. Not because of the batting. I might make 15 runs or 10. But when you go out to bowl, the psych, different ball game.
Okay, so just a quick update. Bangladesh.
Where's our best mate?
Hang on a minute.
By the way.
Bangladesh are 3 for 83 against Australia. Looks like Santa's bowling okay. So we've got who have we got out there? We've got the scoreboard shows that Mohammed Naeem is out for 30. Sakar is 2. Shakib Al Hussain, who batted first shot, number 27, not out. Mohammed Allah is 20 out, and Hassan is 1. So they're 3 for 82. The Australian side, of course, unbelievably, Matthew Wade was made captain. What do you think of that, Chris?
I haven't followed much of it, to be fair. I just hope the Bangladesh win, not going to lie. It was nice to see the West Indies. As I said, one of my good mates, or the guy I played with a lot at school and at club cricket, Hayden Walsh, Good to see him take a load of wickets and make the Aussies look stupid. I mean, is there anything better?
Yeah. Okay. That's just a quick update about Bangladesh and Australia.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Norman and Chris, it's very hard for me because, yes, I played for England, and normally you've seen all my trophies and all that stuff, right? But I love living here in Australia. And my brother and two brothers, two sisters, and my mates here are Australian. So I kind of like sit on the fence between England, Australia, and Ireland. Now, Chris, figure that one out.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to. I'm struggling.
So am I. I just want to see good cricket. Now I've retired, be honest with you, I just see good cricket. I want to see guys bowl really quick and batsmen play great shots, no matter who they play for. And may the best man win. That's what I want to see. Whether it's England with India, or the Ashes, or the West Indies play South Africa. I just want to see great cricket. So I can't remember the last time, especially this COVID stuff. I just want to see great cricket. That's all. Just want to see great. I want to see the likes of when. Do you remember, Chris, at Trent Bridge when Alan Donald bowled to Atherton?
Yeah, I was watching it the other day. It came up on a feed or a memory or something. Yeah, it was a proper spell of bowling that.
That was brilliant. And I spoke to a guy here who works for the Shire Council because I'm looking after mum, moving stuff. And he goes, Al, I just want to see good cricket. And he's a clubby, but a cricket nut. He goes, Al, I remember when you played for England and you knocked Australia over left, right, and centre and did this against Sri Lanka, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, that was nice. And Wazamakaram did this, and we're telling so many stories, right? We're talking about a lounge suite getting removed. And we spoke about an hour about cricket. He goes, all I want to see, this is an Australian club cricketer right from the country. All I want to see is just good cricket. I don't care who plays it. I just want to see good cricket.
Okay, guys, let's. We've got people asking questions about their playing 11s. Okay, so the Indian playing 11, in terms of bowling, Chris and Alan.
Yeah.
They're going to probably put the World Test Championship bowling attack in again, aren't they?
Depends if everyone's fit and how they see people bowling. I guess it's they bowled all right in the World Test Championship. I don't see this series coming down to India's bowling. I think India's bowling will be fine. It's who bats better, and I just think that England will just have the upper hand batting in home conditions, if that makes sense. So. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I think Sharma, Siraj, Bumrah, they're all pretty similar bowlers. They'll swing it about, and England just have to hope that they can play it out, really.
So Siraj will get a Guernsey, you're saying, and they may put the quartet in. Put in Shami, Ishant, and Bumrah with Siraj.
Yeah, I just think it's a massive punt to play two spinners, considering England and New Zealand. I mean, if you look at the two best sides in the world in English conditions, it is England and New Zealand. Neither of them played a spinner in the world. New Zealand didn't play one in the World Test Championship, and England didn't play one at all in the series there. So, I mean, India should be looking at that and thinking, why on earth are we playing two spinners? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. But
yeah,
my best bowling attack.
Sorry,
Jasprit Bumrah, Jasprit Bumrah, Jasprit Bumrah, and Jasprit Bumrah. I think he is an incredible bowler.
I like the side. I like the side of Munchie keeps talking about Hamid. How seriously is it going to be that Hamid's picked just because he batted well in that early match? Is that what's tipped him over?
He was in the squad for New Zealand series, and he's been scoring runs, all summer. So I imagine that they're keen to get him in. And Sibley, you would say, is probably on slightly, slightly wobbly ground. He needs a score, so we'll just have to wait and see how he goes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What about some early predictions for the? We're going to have a pre-match show tomorrow, which will be earlier, of course. What time does the game start, Chris? 10 or 11?
Be 11 o'clock, 11 or 11:30, I imagine. When's it? I think
11 is in fact 8 p.m. my time, correct?
I don't know. I won't be about tomorrow.
9 hours difference. Because what time is it now? Again, I've got 11:12 p.m. So is it 2:15, 2:12 p.m. in England?
Now it's 2:12. Yeah.
Okay, so it's 9 hours. So the game will be starting at 11 o'clock, let's say, it'll be 8 p.m. my time, which will be, if we go an hour earlier, it'll be 7 o'clock my time. So that'll be the time I'm going to talk tomorrow. But for today's purposes, we want to put a bit of conjecture on the fact that there's a 5-test series. Did India play 5 tests against England last time?
No, I think it was 4 and it was 3-1 to England. I don't think we've played 5 tests for a while against India, but I might be wrong.
Who will that play in favour of, England or India?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think it will probably play into England's favour because I think that they're a better side in these conditions. So that India have always got a chance to win a test match, but I guess a longer series probably benefits England because they can win more test matches than India probably can. So I imagine that depending on the weather, depending on the pitch conditions and where we're playing, that it probably suits England a little bit more than India.
Here's a few points for you guys. I'm just a quick info, right? Oh, well, got him in the head. Fair enough. Hit the head in a guy when I was 18 called Jason Cuntswell. He died. Carry on. Stain. Tough to learn to control the Duke. What do you make of that, Chris?
I mean, I think that more and more people are bowling. I think the Indians have been practicing for a while with the Duke. So, but it's always going to be easy for the English guys. Brought up and they've bowled played a lot more Test cricket with the Duke.
Your journalistic viewpoint, your viewpoint as someone who used it.
It's weird. We've been using them in the league, and it's not the same grade. Test match Dukes are better, but I find them a bit bigger. In
the Test match Duke.
I've played with them. I like bowling with them. They've got quite a big seam, quite dark.
I'll show you one. I've got one here.
Yeah, you want to? It'd be good. I'm sure people watching will be interested. I'm sure the people listening and watching.
Hamid's actually a local to Nottingham, isn't he?
And I'm wearing this shirt, by the way, because I'm waiting for the ultimate question, by the way. Norman, at the end of our segment, this is my last World Cup jumper. My last World Cup shirt, by the way, Norman. I gave to this youngster at the Rose Bowl, as it was then, the Juice Bowl. His dad played 2005. I couldn't get the words out. It breaks my heart. His dad played soccer for Portsmouth, and his son was 6. And I'll just say no more than this. I'm going to wear that, Spider, when I go to heaven. Think about that, guys. When you think about cricket.
Okay, Chris, while Alan's not here, take this moment. How have you been going? Tell us about what you've been up to.
Just been busy. We've been playing quite a lot.
Yesterday, watching the 100. What's your thoughts on the 100?
I like it. I think it's quite good. I just watch it as a guy who likes cricket and just watch it as if it's 2020 cricket, to be honest. I don't see it as any massively different. I've got a good friend of ours who plays for the Welsh Fire in the 100, and he got us some tickets. So, we went up and watched it. Went to the girls' game before and watched that. So, pardon?
Who was playing the women's team?
Sarah Taylor played. Dane Van Niekerk.
Shabin Ismail?
I don't think so. I think that she might play for another team. I think
Dane Van Niekerk play both for the Oval Invincibles.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, the home team. She might have been playing then. I said I wasn't watching it as I was there, but we obviously were in the bar a little bit, and so I didn't. I don't know the women's game as well as the guys' game. So,
well, if who won that game? Who won that game between the Oval Invincibles, the women's team? Who played in that game?
The Welsh Fire won that, and the Oval Invincibles won the men's fixture.
Also, the women's was won by the Welsh Fire.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you think it's going to take? Was it a good crowd?
Yeah, it was basically a full house for the men's game. It's quite clever because if you buy a ticket, you get a ticket for the day, so you can go to both games. So we were going to go up just to watch our mate play in the guys game, but we said, well, why not? Let's just go up, have some lunch, and sort of make an afternoon of it. So we ended up watching some of the girls' game as well, and I think that's a very clever way to go about it.
Right. Charlotte Manjul says Ismail plays for Birmingham Phoenix. She doesn't. She plays for the Oval Invincibles. I know personally. I'm involved with her in terms of management. She doesn't play for the Birmingham things. Okay. So what's going to happen when the test? Are there any 100 fixtures in the middle of the test series?
Yeah, it's carrying on. All the test match players played the first 2 fixtures and then got withdrawn. So Johnny Best, they played the first 2 games for the Birmingham Phoenix and then for the Welsh Fire, and then got withdrawn out to play. To go into the test match bubble. So,
all right. So what I'm getting at, the test cricket's during the day and the 100s played at night, correct?
Yeah, I think that they won't cross over too much in terms of television, or they might, sometimes it's on free to air telly for the 100. So,
right. Okay. So, as far as you're concerned, are you going to be watching? Are you going to be watching from ball 1 tomorrow? Are you going to?
I'll try. I'm meant to be out tomorrow. I'm meant to be doing some coaching tomorrow, so I will try if I can. But I'll be following it for sure.
So, Alan, why have you got your scissors for? What's the scissors for?
Okay, Norman, do you remember when there was a certain young chap called Chris Cameron who got done for ball tampering?
Okay, we don't want to talk about ball tampering. We've just been joined by Aparna Saini. Chris?
Hi, Aparna.
Hey,
nice to see you.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Alan. How are you?
How are you?
Good, good. Good to see you, Norman.
Everything's good. There's been
Chris,
we've been reading up on your Indian side. Why are we looking at balls, Alan?
Because Chris asked me to show the difference between the
All right. What did you ask, Chris?
No, I was just saying Alan's mentioned the difference, and I said that it's there's a big noticeable difference between the Dukes and the Kookaburra. But I didn't know if people watching would have seen. Like the guys in India probably haven't seen either. They use different balls, so just something a bit different to discuss, isn't it?
I was just going to show you to liven things up. The young lad called Cameron who got banned for a year, and Steve Smith, and that left-hand. I'd love to bowl him, right? The left-hand batter, what it's called.
Warner.
This is how you do things when you want to cheat, okay? Now, this is called sandpaper. Right. Chris, are you watching? Or on your phone?
Yeah. No, I'm watching.
Well, pay attention. You get this bit of paper, you go dunk, 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 dunk.
I'm having these problems with that mobile again. I can't do bloody anything.
Very simple.
That's what it is. Yeah, okay.
What do we do?
Chris.
What's that? What's that?
I'm
It's a bit
changing
of sandpaper.
Norman. Chris, you
Yeah.
gonna get your phone or what?
I'm watching.
Right. Now, this ball here, by the way, that's Browner. I took 9 for 94 against Derbyshire. Wonderful. Now, I'm going to do this to prove a point. That was the smooth side. Chris, can you see that?
Yep.
Can you get off your phone?
I wouldn't be ruffling up the smooth side in case you ever need to bowl with it.
It goes back to my trophy cabinet, you idiot. What you do is you do this. That took 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, can we get back to the game, Alan?
Hang on, Norman. I'm talking, Norman. Now this one here, the kookaburra, right? Now this is rough sandpaper, right? That took about 10 times the amount to scratch up. Can you see it?
Mm.
Now this is extremely rough.
Alan.
Paper.
Okay, Alan.
Rough
Alan,
sandpaper.
I'm telling you now. I don't want to talk about this anymore, please.
My point being is this: they did a very poor job of scratching the ball up.
Chris.
Yes.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm just listening to Alan.
Okay. Well, let's have a partner say, well, who do you think will be in the side? The Indian side. You know that. Well,
there's a lot of injuries and stuff, obviously. So, I've had a look at the team. Mayank Agarwal is ruled out, so that's due to concussion. That's one problem. So KL Rahul, I think he's likely to open the innings of Rohit Sharma, which is a plus. And overall, I think India should be able to wrap this one up pretty easy. They have unfinished business, as I said, in this India tour of England. So not the World Test Championship, so might as well be this one. And it's got a lot of history. I mean, my sister being a fan of Saurav Ganguly and actually Rahul Dravid, who's the president of BCCI now, and the other one is the coach of the under 19 and the B team. So they actually made their debut in 1996. So it's quite a significant sort of a tournament for our series for India, I would say, and I'm really looking forward to it. What's Chris' side? I want to hear what Chris thinks, because obviously he's sitting right in England. He'll be able to give better. What's the vibe like in England?
Weather's pretty gloomy today. I don't think there'll be much need for two spinners. I don't know what the forecast, but I can look at the forecast for Nottingham for the next week. But it's going to be a green wicket, so I wouldn't be picking. If India want to pick two spinners, that's fine. They won't win a series with two spinners. So it's just going to be cloudy, a few showers about. So it's going to weather warning in place for Friday, thunderstorm. So I would be loading up with seam bowlers and trying to take England on where they're going to try and win the series, and it will come down to Broad, Robinson probably versus the Indian batting lineup, I think, to see who wins the series. But England don't lose many games in Trent Bridge. I think it's Broad's home ground, and it's apart from Lord's, Jimmy Anderson's taken his most Test wickets at Trent Bridge, so they both average very low there. So it's going to be very difficult for India to get off to I think if you offered India a draw in this Test, they would snap your hand off and go to Test 2. I think so.
Do you really?
Yeah, I heard that they are not. They're not letting the pitch won't be helping the spinners, as you said, Chris. So I don't think so. They would be playing with spinners, and I think Siraj is more likely be in the playing 11. So he's a good ad. So I don't think so. The playing two spinner strategy would be taken. They've done that. They know it didn't work, and looking at the pitch conditions, I don't think so. They would be playing with two spinners. Sorry, Norman was saying something.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, this is going to be a very interesting series, especially because there are some batting woes on both sides. And Chris and Alan will agree with me on this. That there is don't you think, Chris, that the reality is that India, the day of reckoning will come for Kohli, Rahane, and Pujara to perform, don't you think?
Yeah, and Rohit Sharma as well. He's got a pretty poor record in England. Kohli averages 23 in the last 2 years of Test cricket. So, that Indian bat, even in the series against England, at home, they weren't in great form in that series. It was just that England were useless against the spin that kind of flattered India's batting lineup, I think, in that. So they didn't bat well in the World Test Championship against New Zealand. So there's going to be some some nervous batters going out there, I think, with points to prove. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But it'll be very hard for India to win this series unless we have a heat wave and the pitches get very dry and start spinning. I don't see India being able to cope with England's seam attack if the weather is like it's going to be this week, seaming around, swinging around. I think that was that Alan? Sorry,
no, it's okay. I'm just listening.
That's all right. I was almost finished.
I mean, sorry. Okay, so the Indian batsmen mentioned Bajara, Rahane, Kohli, and the likes of Rohit Sharma need to perform. But on England's side, they have equally as many batters that need to perform as well. Crawley, Sibley, even Joe Root himself to an extent. Certainly Pope, Lawrence. There's a certain amount of need. Rory Burns probably the only one that you would argue has batted pretty consistently of late. So it's going to be I think it'll be a bowler's paradise. We'll see. We won't see a draw in the first Test match.
I'm trying to think of your man's name, Norman, for England, the right armour. He went off a long run up, then a short one up. Chris, you brought up earlier. He bowls quick. The right armour.
Mark Wood.
Mark Wood, but he breaks down a lot.
Yeah.
Ollie, not Ollie. Ollie, what's going on? Ollie.
Ollie Stone.
Ollie Stone.
Not him. He's out for
Is it Chris Wood? Is that
Mark
a short guy?
Chris Wokes.
He's a bit like a coffee, but not as good.
It's Mark Wood.
Mark Wood.
Yeah, okay, Mark Wood. What happened to Chris Wokes? Chris?
I like him.
Chris Wokes is injured. I don't know exactly where he is at the moment, but he's injured. I think Mark Wood will probably play 2 or 3 Test matches. I think you'll see him playing at Old Trafford, where there's more pace and bounce. You know, where a pitch where you have to force the game, if that makes sense. Like where it might not be doing as much. At Trent Bridge, when it's going to swing and seam about, I don't think you need a bowler like that. I just pick your 4 best seamers, swing bowlers, and just try and win the game like that. So.
Norman, you've never asked me what do I think about the fast bowlers of today compared to when I played, before when I played, in terms of their toughness. You never once asked that question.
We're just being joined by. How are
Good,
you?
Raj. What are you, my brother?
I'm good. How are you, Alan?
Brilliant. The only Indian I know is Acha.
Sorry?
Oh, no.
The only Hindi I know is Acha.
Yeah, that's enough to start a conversation.
Tikka. No, tikka is chicken tikka. Is that right? Is that right?
So tikka is a form of a dish.
Chicken tikka, but tikka is good.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you mean TK? He's saying
Don't
TK.
laugh at Pani. I love my Indian food. Now I'm worried.
That's good.
My phone's playing. Okay. Bear with me a second. You guys keep talking.
Okay.
I think these kind of things.
Why am I wearing this World Cup, my last jumper for the Test match? This Test match. Why do you think?
Probably because you were.
Why? Apparently, saying you tell me why am I wearing this World Cup top first? My England last.
I'm not sure. Well, I was thinking that. I was about to ask you.
England's
last time
India
want to see? No.
And Gujarat asked me why am I wearing this?
Just tell us,
Alan,
Alan.
you've been showing that top about 50 times now.
No, you know why? Ask me who my money is on for the Test match series.
We worked it out now then.
Who?
Okay.
Hang on, Norman. Who, Chris?
I reckon you fancy England to win.
Okay. And Gugulat and Apana, who do you think?
I hope India. You're not on the England side.
I'm wearing this. So who do you think I think's going to win?
I
That's
think
obvious.
England.
Okay, when Norman and I, Apana, come to India, Gugulat, you're going to owe us
Yeah.
both a buttered chicken.
But I'm in Australia.
Norman, who do you think I am backing?
Okay, I'd like to get
India.
Gujarat.
It's the only
Go
Indian
correct,
top
please,
one.
Mr. Gill. I'd like you to tell us your
When I was
thoughts on
in
the Indian
India.
squad, please. And tell us your thoughts on the Indian squad.
On the Indian squad?
I'm back in India.
Yeah.
Gil, did you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just so you want me to share my thoughts on the Indian squad, right?
Yes, because especially with Mayank Agarwal out, and of course Gill out, what do you think the batting lineup will be?
So obviously there aren't much choices. There's either Hanuma Vihari who can come in or KL Rahul. There's either Hanuma Vihari who can come in or KL Rahul, and I think how the Indian management were looking at KL Rahul before the series was for a middle order position. So if that's the case, I'd probably want Hanuma Vihari to come in and have Cheteshwar Pujara open the innings and have Hanuma Vihari at 3, because Hanuma Vihari he has in the top 3 for his state side, and he also has some county experience coming into the series. So hopefully he does well, because I'm really not comfortable with the idea of KL Rahul opening.
He has opened before, though. That's right, isn't it?
So I'm on mute because I'm having to go to my other phone and listen because I'm not getting good sound. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think so.
Hello.
We've got Naresh to join us as well.
Yes, we can. I can.
Hey,
Naresh, how are you, my brother?
Alan.
Hey,
Good, Alan. How are you?
Now it's
Hi,
looking
Alan.
like a
Hi,
full
Chris.
house. That's better.
Hi, Aparna. Hi, Aparna. Hi, Gurkul.
Hi, good to see you, Naresh.
Same here. Thank you.
I was wearing this, man. You listening?
Yeah.
My last World Cup thing, my last World Cup jumper. I was trying to blag it to these fellas that England is going to win the Test series, right? Now, the only thing I've got from India, I did have loads of caps signed by Tendulkar and shirts. I don't anymore, a long time ago. Is a coaching top from Fast Bowling Academy. You can't read it. From Berrily
Okay.
in India.
Guys, are you there?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just been a bit
No, well, I can
problematic.
still hear you
mate.
now.
Sorry, guys. Can you all see me?
Yes, Norman, yeah.
Now we can.
All right. I don't know what's happening now. There's all the okay. Talk.
Blame it on the Chinese virus. That's fine. We're cool. Naresh, my man, how are you?
I'm in Pune.
Pune,
I know. The last time, I learned in Hindi.
Okay.
Acha.
Can I get your attention? Okay. We've got the Indian contingent on the bottom. We've got the Anglo-Australian England top on the top here, right? So now we've got a fighting team.
No,
Phil,
I'm
look
English.
up. Stop looking at you're looking down. I can see you looking
Yeah.
up.
No,
Now-
Chris lives on his phone.
I want you to, Al, let me speak, please. Okay. We're going to go through the teams again. Gil, you're saying that what I've heard you just say that you think that Pujara will go to opener to join Rohit Sharma and they'll bring in Vihari at first drop, which would mean Kohli would follow with Rahane, then Punt. Correct?
That's right.
Would you have Jadeja and Ashwin?
Both. The team remains same. There's only one change. Gill gets dropped because he's injured, and in place of Gill, Hanuma Vihari comes in. That's the only change.
Oh, we lost the partner. So, okay. So let me just go through it again. You've got Pujara, Rohit Sharma, Vihari, Kohli, Rahane. That's 5. Punt 6. You're saying Jadeja and Ashwin 7 and 8.
Yeah, that's right.
And you've got 3 bowlers. Are we putting Siraj in or we're not putting Siraj in?
Same 3 pacers that played the World Test Championship.
Okay. All right. Now, the other question was brought up by a few other platforms. Oh, God. Hang on, guys. I'm just trying to put the partner in. Bear with me. It's computers. Okay.
Hey, Norman, just to be fair to you guys, right? We've had some massive storms here. I cannot believe.
Well, he's gone, so I'll take over.
Yeah, well, I can take over. I'll ask questions.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Massive storms. In Perth, there was hailstones and wind to about 110 k's in about 2-3 days. I've had about 3 hours sleep in the past 3 nights. It's been horrendous. And it's
guys, can you got me back?
Norman.
Can you hear me back there? Can
you hear me? Norman, I live on the west coast. Norman on the east coast. We've had hailstorms, houses knocked down, trees fell down, the whole shebang. I'm lying in my bed here, right? Looking after my mum. At 3 o'clock in the morning, she's like, Alan, what's going on? It's been tough. It's been tricky. So just bear with us. Norman, you're right.
Okay.
And just the thing is,
okay.
what happens in Perth when it comes to the weather off the ocean, it's bad.
Okay.
And it makes its way to Adelaide, South Australia, and then it makes its way to the eastern states, to Melbourne and Sydney. It goes a funny little cycle. Goes, okay, you can imagine. There's Perth. It goes, and it's been tough.
Okay. Just quickly, guys. Gil, please, I want your attention, Gil. So you're saying that Siraj will not get a Guernsey in this match, correct?
Not in the first test. He will definitely play because India will have to rotate their fast bowlers. You cannot be playing the same 3 fast bowlers in a 5 test match series. But I think India will start with the trio of Ishant, Shami, and Bumrah, and then they'll start rotating.
Right. Yeah, but there is question about Shardul Thakur. What's your thoughts on that?
I think people are just getting carried away with his 1 innings at Gabba, because if you are going to select Shardul Thakur on the basis of his batting in 1 test match, then you really can't be dropping Ravindra Jadeja on the basis of 1 test match where he wasn't even utilized properly. He's been a very good number 6 for India over the last 3-4 years. He averages over 40 with the bat, averages under 25 or around 25 with the ball. So there's no real reason to drop him. You don't have to look at Ravindra Jadeja as a spinner. Rather, he's a bowling all rounder, and he gives you control, which someone like Shardul Thakur may not provide. So if and when Shardul Thakur plays, I think you need an absolute green pitch, and who knows, he might have to play in place of Ravichandran Ashwin, because there is no one who can compete with Ravindra Jadeja's place in the side, I feel, especially as a batsman who can bowl at number 6 or 7.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Naresh?
Yeah, so for me, same side like the finals. KL comes in to open now with both, seasoned openers injured. So KL comes in to open. Rest of the side is the same, but I still give an option of Shardul to replace Jadeja depending on how the conditions are before the game starts. And I think that's the reason Virat Kohli came with a statement that he will leave it for the toss to announce the side. So I'm still going with Jadeja or Shardul, but more or less, I would like to play the same side as the finals with KL coming into open.
All right, so good. I'm just waiting whether Aparna's coming back on. Aparna, you coming back on? Okay. All right. So, okay. So the reality is, I didn't think they'd be changing too many for this side. Okay. Okay. The reality is that that we have India won't change much. They had to change opening position. We know that. That's the significant change. That is a very, very significant change. The England team, you would argue, because of Ben Stokes, has destabilised the whole team. Sam Curran is one of the people that has to come in. And I would have thought, Chris, I want your thoughts on this. Is it a like for like for Ben to be in Ben Stokes being replaced by Sam Curran? Could they not operate in that manner?
It's as like for like as England will get. Curran's probably more of a bowling all-round at the moment, and Stokes is more of a top 5 batter. I can't see India playing 2 spinners. Was there any talk in the press after the World Test Championship that India got their side wrong? Has there been any? Because from where I'm sat, they picked a really poor side in English conditions, and it backfired, didn't it? Really, how many overs in that Test match did Ashwin and Jadeja bowl, and it just lumps the. It's going to be a green wicket tomorrow. It's going to be thunderstorms and rain about a week. I can't see them picking 3 seamers. They have to pick 4 seamers. England will pick at least 4 seamers, maybe a spinner. And I just think that if India really think that playing 2 spinners at Trent Bridge when there's rain about is their best team, then they're just wrong. And that's fact. Ashwin's a great bowler, but he's not a great bowler in England when it's green and when it's raining. You're going to get far more out of a 4th seamer. Because the spinners just aren't as effective. So I'll be amazed if India play 2 spinners. And that's probably why they have not announced their side yet. Before the World Test Championship final, they announced their side days early. And it probably seemed it was a bit weird. Even the press over here were like, fine to announce your side early. But when it's raining, it seems a bit arrogant. You just didn't pick your best team. So I'd be amazed if they play 2 spinners.
Sorry, go ahead. Okay.
Can I butt in for one moment? Let's change cricket for a second. Naresh, right? You listening? Hey, Gujarat.
Yeah.
You listening?
Yeah.
What parts of India do you come from? And now come close to the camera. What parts of India do you come from? Naresh.
I'm in Pune, Western India, close to Mumbai.
Next to Mumbai? Yeah, Mumbai, I've been there. Well, if me and Norman come there with other COVID viruses done and dusted, will you allow us to... I'm getting so excited now because I've been there before. Will you allow us to organise a coaching clinic? And can I help?
Definitely.
Can we have your help?
Definitely. Why not?
Well, more importantly...
What are you organising? Alan, it's not time to organise the game. We'll talk about that another time.
Can you organise for us to go there and have some fun?
Okay, good. All right. So, Naresh and
I'm
Gil,
still talking to Gujarat.
have you been watching the developments of first what's been happening with Prithvi Shaw and Sky Kumar, as in Yadav? They're both in Sri Lanka. They're still there.
No, they have flown in.
They've left.
Yeah, I think they might have landed already. They left. Yeah.
They left last evening, I think.
They're not available for the first test.
No.
First 2 tests. They are not available for first 2 tests. Yeah.
But it is a possibility if they can't organise an opener that with Rohit Sharma and Gill and Agarwal are unavailable, that Prithvi Shaw may come into calculations. Would you say that's possible?
It is possible, but for the first 2 tests, they'll have to make do with who they have. There's also Abhimanyu Easwaran in the squad, who was selected ahead of both Prithvi Shaw and Surya Kumar Yadav. So if things don't work out for India in the first test match, we might see Abhimanyu Easwaran coming in the second. But more or less, I expect India to play the same team as they did in the World Test Championship final, with the only change of the opener. Because yeah, like I said, I don't think there's a substitute for Jadeja, because there is no bowler who can bat as well as him. And if the pitch is too green, then we might see someone like Shardul coming in. But Ashwin, with the way he bowled in the World Test WTC final, and when he played that one county match for Surrey, he's performed very well. So yeah, it's going to be difficult for India to drop both of them. I think where India probably lost the World Test Championship final was that they didn't bat well. And when Virat was asked after the game if India played the right 11, he said that he didn't have any issues with the 11. He thought that they played the right 11, and they probably needed much more application from their batsmen to put up a score.
You know the funny thing, Norman? The funny thing? I played my second test match against India at Trent Bridge, and yet nobody's asked me, how would you bowl?
How would you bowl at Trent Bridge, Alan?
If it's a green seamer, which we never had against Tendulkar, and I think it was Tendulkar, and some left-hand batsman, and some right-hand batsman called Dravid. I think the left-hand batsman played cut shots when he backed away. I got him out at Laws. Cuts in India. How would I bowl to them on the green wicket now? So just throw me the ball. That's what
I had to do that for Norman.
Hello, Pani. How are you?
Good. Where's your hat?
Apana
Yes.
Shiny. So Chris, how do I bowl Trent Bridge against this Indian team at 22 years of age?
I have actually said.
Good luck. Coley, please come out. Hurry up. Get out. That's how I bowl. I'll knock him over and have some fun, and you could not believe I had fun. Swing it that way, the whole lot. That's how, Chris, I bowl.
Okay, can I just get back?
That's how I bowl. How would you bowl, Chris?
How would I? Well, I can only bowl one way, and I just pitch it up and try and swing it. So
how would you bowl in a test match? Full house. Bowling to Coley.
Badly, probably. Not very
bowl?
well, I imagine.
Yeah.
So Bangladesh.
Hang on, Norman.
Side, guys.
Alan,
1 second.
Pay attention.
Update from me. But Bangladesh are 7 for 131 after the 20 overs. It's a pretty average score. And the wicket takers were Stark 2, Hazelwood 3, Zampa 1, Ty 1, and Ago. No wickets. But that looks like a bowling Gill, the bowling level of Australia. Stark, Hazelwood, Zampa, Ty, Ago. They're starting to look like a World Cup bowling lineup, I think.
Too early to say that, because Bangladesh are also not playing their full strength side. There is no Shakib. There's no Mushfiqur Rahim as well, if I'm not wrong. So, and
well, Shakib Al-Hussain played, and Mohammed is also there.
Just let me check. Yeah, but obviously Stark's important for Australia's chances, because he did well in the West Indies series as well. But Australia have to really figure out their batting unit, because I don't think in the current they have their batting sorted. They desperately need Maxwell back at number 4, and yeah, Stark's done well for them, but I'm not sure if Andrew Tye can be their 5th bowler. Agar's fine. Adam Zampa's definitely been doing quite well for some time. It's good that Josh Hazelwood is playing T20s consistently. He adds a lot of value with the new ball, but they still need to sort their batting out massively.
Okay. All right. Back to this match tomorrow. Do you see it lasting 5 days?
what's the weather prediction like? I've really not had the chance to check it out because I've been following the Olympics too much to even read or study about what's been
Oh
happening
my lord!
on the cricket front
The
of
Olympics.
things.
Yeah, I think there's rain from day 2 throughout. Throughout in the sense like every day we'll have rain breaks, so that could lead to 5 days of game.
Yeah, I think there's thunderstorms predicted, so there'll be some rain about. It just depends. As I said, it just depends how much it does, I guess. Two probably not great batting lineups in these conditions, in terms of form, and two pretty decent bowling attacks. So I don't see it being a massively high scoring series, depending on the weather and how the pitches turn out. But it's going to be an interesting one for sure.
That's the weather for Perth. Oh, Lord.
Don't forget, we were talking about the World Test Championship being a draw and not going through the time. We got a game out of that. We got a good game and it finished. So I know the predictions are there, but I tend to
the Bangladeshi, following Norman, are 131 for 7.
Yeah, I've said it before.
No, sorry, my phone. We're in Perth. We work slower.
131 for 7. That's not enough, but you would think it's not enough.
What happens in America or the world, India? It makes its way to decent states, and then finally.
Okay, this is a comment we need to talk about.
This
is a good comment. I'm impressed with this comment because we need to talk more about cricket and not about other things. So let's stick to the topic of cricket. Aparna, you're with me here? Can you see me?
Yes, it's absolutely Norman.
I'd like you to talk about this match and what it means to you and the importance of it.
Yeah, well,
please.
well, I think Indian side it looks pretty, strong to as compared to what they were in. I think they're going to be playing with the same what they played with World Test Championship, same team, nearly. They've got strong players. I mean, Virat Kohli has played very well in the last tour of England, so he would be obviously going for victory. Looking back to actually finish the unfinished business that they've got in this India tour of England. Also, then we've got Rohit Sharma. It's his first tour of England as an opener, so it would be very interesting to see how well he would be able to perform. Coming back to then, obviously, I think Pujara would be there, and he's like the new wall of Team India, and I think he'll be back in action. He could have a chance of start fresh after the World Test Championship final failure. So he's had some intense training sessions, obviously under coach like Shastri. And then Virat Kohli, as obviously I've talked about him, he's another one. Then Ajinkya Rahane, I think he's vice captain. He looks fit and ready to go. So his fitness is considered good. And Rishabh Pant, I think he would be back to the ground, to begin his Test career. It's his first time tour of England, and he's performed very well in Australia. So it would be interesting to see how he goes. And I think the overall, Indian side looks pretty decent and good, and it's quite strong. So I think they should be able to back this one up. And lasting it 5 days, that's again depends on the winner. But it'll be a tough one. So Ben Stokes is out, so it'll be hard for them to balance it out because their batting has been a bit of a drawback. What we saw with New Zealand as well. So let's see what England performs. But Indian side looks good, and I think they should be able to come good, especially after the failure in World Test Championship.
I think we lost Norman.
Oh my God, we've got 2 Normans now.
It's a scary thought, isn't it?
And you guys, I like to get back to basics.
I'm here,
What
guys.
do I love to see about cricket? I love to see the ball fly. I love to see great batsmen. And you guys have got great bat. Kohli reminds me of David Gower on steroids. Remember David Gower? You guys?
Yep.
The rest? Yep.
Yes,
He reminds
left-hander,
me. Yeah, yes, but he reminds me of David Gower on steroids. It just makes it look so easy. I know I've played against Sachin, and Sachin is a genius. Now, will Kohli be as good as Sachin? I don't know. Different team, different era. They are both brilliant. I bowled to Sachin, and I thought to myself, I got him out, and I thought to myself, such a brilliant experience to bowl to him. I watched Kohli bat, and I think he's like a ballet dancer. It's like how can I explain it? Sachin was like a bull in a china shop, right? But he made it work. He's a genius, right? And Kohli is like a ballet dancer. He just flicks that wand around, dunk, dunk, dunk. I often thought to myself, I love my bet at night. Sometimes I get asked this question: how would you bowl to Kohli? I guess the same thing. When I was 22 years of age, on 94 mile an hour, I think, how would I bowl to Kohli? Well, it depends what country. But even
I think you know, back in 1996, Saurav Ganguly and Rahul Dravid made their first appearance in
England.
Test, and I think they faced about over 500 balls by Saurav Ganguly. So that era has proven themselves, and now coming back to I think Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and company.
That also comes down to man management.
Yeah, absolutely.
It comes down to man management. I'll tell you for why. We had a fellow called Dominic Cork. Do you remember? And Darren Goff, remember? Well, when I was playing for Leicester, I was bowling 95 mile an hour. And I got picked to bowl the ball first change. A large part of that was because it took me 6 years to get into the England team. I'll tell you for why. Because Graham Gooch said I'm not English. That doesn't matter. To bowl to Ganguly, to bowl to Tendulkar, to bowl to Kohli. I think Kohli's the best one.
All right. So I've been told to stop playing my facial hair. Now, Chris.
Yes.
I want an early prediction of how this series will go. We may have talked about it already, but I want you to tell me what your predictions are for this Test series, because people are asking on the side.
What is my prediction? I don't see England winning 5 tests.
Did you say England will win 5 tests?
No, I'm saying it's a 5-test series. I see it being 3-1 or 3-2, I think.
England.
There's bound to be a draw in there somewhere.
Aparna, what do you think?
Well, I think India should be able to win by 3-2. It's definitely not a draw. And disagree with Chris, but yes, good to support your country. Anyway, but Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, I think they are no less of an attraction. Who have just gone before, as Alan was talking about. I think this is very good Indian side, perhaps I think the best, and the variety of cricketers in the number offers a fine chance to do something special in this English conditions. I would say there can be no doubt about Kohli's position. He is yet to conquer England, and he has expressed to do so. Obviously, especially after the failure in the World Test Championship, this is a very, very important just to get confidence back as well and get back in the country, I would say. But jokes apart, his ongoing head-to-head with James Anderson is a treat in itself. England would have as the pitch conditions very little spice for the seamers. So I think it'd be good to see India seam attack if they play with some. Not sure, but yes, they would definitely be not playing with 2 spinners. That's I think so. That's for sure. I'm not sure if Siraj is in there. Is Siraj in? What do you think, Norman? Is Siraj in? He's pacer. Is he in?
I like what Banstead boy, a la Richard Burden's just said. No, hang on, no. Hang on. I've got the wrong.
Who said that? I didn't even say
this
it.
one here. This one here. This is it. This is the right one. My prediction has
Without
changed.
Stokes, England a
Without
lot
Stokes,
weaker.
England are a lot weaker.
Yeah,
I
the
believe
pressure
that
is on
England
Root,
is going to
I think.
stabilise the whole England side.
Mm.
Sam Curran's got a lot to do. If they give him the free rein to be almost like a Ben Stokes, that could be beneficial. But Ben Stokes' ability to turn a match will be missing. England's bowling lineup will be somewhat weaker, and certainly the batting lineup. Ben Stokes is extremely important for that England side, especially if Root doesn't fire. They could fall in a bag of a heap of mud. So, Chris, I think the more you talk about it, I think that Hamid may well be selected.
Yeah, hi. Tell me. Alan was saying something. Sorry?
So you fall asleep there, man.
No, I don't get you.
You looked like you were falling asleep there.
No. I'm listening. It's just that there isn't much to talk about. Hence, I'm listening. That's about it.
Okay, cool.
I'll have you know, Gil, I'll have you know that Monty's coming on as well.
When? Today?
Well, he was meant to be on today, but he'll be on. Don't worry. He's due to be on. Okay? So just keep coming, Gil, and you'll be on. Okay?
Okay.
I made phone calls earlier, by the way, you guys, to Steve Waugh and a few friends of mine. And they're quite keen to jump on board. I'll say no more than that.
Okay, good. Chris, you've been,
Yes.
been off. How's your cricket
Maybe
going?
you wasn't. I'm not sure.
MCC, Chris?
Yeah, I haven't played for a few. I've got a couple of games next week, but yeah, just playing just league cricket at the moment. We've obviously had a lot of COVID and stuff flying about, so just trying to catch up, rearrange some games really.
Are you feeling better, Chris? We lost him. Chris had COVID. All right, can you all, Naresh? You
Yes,
look
Tom.
refreshed. What have you been up to?
Well, looking forward to the series, most important, Norman. Otherwise, yeah, not much happening around. A lot of rain here in Pune.
Has
But
there?
yeah, there's been quite a lot of rain this side.
It sounds like there's a lot of rain in India, a lot of rain in England, but Australia seems to be without the rain, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Excuse
Not
me.
for long.
Hang on.
What?
Let me wait. My glasses and my hat.
He just said it. There was rain.
Partner, excuse me. I'm going to butt in. Excuse me. Norman. Excuse me. Oh, my Lord. I never slept for about 3 nights. We've had the most rain, but that's okay. Don't mind the rain. Hailstorms, fences blowing over, trees, the whole kitchen sink, power being put out. What, Norman? Norman, what over there? Holy moly. I've not slept for about 3 days in the midst of a bit of a cold and a flu. Holy moly, man. That is true of God.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get
Off in for England. The reason why I was not on for the past week with Norman, my business partner, is because
Sorry, guys, I'm finding it hard to hear at the moment. I've got volume problems here.
But there was no bad weather there, Norman, was there?
Just keep talking, guys. I'm trying to gain some volume here. I'm having some problem.
Okay, I want to ask you a few questions. Good to go.
Yeah.
My
Tell me.
email is alanmalali@hotmail.com. Right?
Okay.
You got my Facebook thing on there?
Yeah, I don't use it quite often. I'm more active on Twitter.
Email, but more importantly, Aparna, my darling, what I would like is your best butter chicken.
In India?
Oh God, yes. And
Apart.
Naresh, I like your recipe. Hang on, Norman. I like your recipe, Naresh, for your best Indian chili chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm sending it all to my email address, alanmullally@hotmail.com. Norman's got it, or Facebook, right? You know why? I love cooking, and I'm trying to do all these different dishes. Look after my 83-year-old mother.
That's
He
nice.
used to live on like English food, Sunday roast, mashed potato, blah blah blah. You got me on the rash?
Yep.
Okay.
Your best chili chicken. And well, and Norman, sorry. Okay, let's go around a circle. Naresh, who is your favourite person in the world? Like your mum,
Asking
your
me?
dad? Yeah, I am. I'm putting you in your best sports star, cricketer, hockey player, who?
Okay, cricketer, obviously Sachin Tendulkar.
No.
From the same
If you wake up in
generation,
the
played
morning,
in Mumbai
who's your
together.
hero? Who's your hero?
Okay.
Hang on, Norman. Your ultimate hero. Who?
No,
Look
it
at
is
me,
it is
your
Sachin
ultimate
Tendulkar.
hero.
Okay, Alan, have a look at the message I just sent you, please.
You keep dropping out.
Okay. Apart.
I'm being told off.
No, apart. Alan, I sent
We
you a
can see
message.
some comments.
Alan.
We can see some comments that we're going off track. So let's take some questions up, Norm, from some in the chat room. There's been few questions coming up and people been writing down. We're going off track. So they're here to, I think they just really want us to talk cricket. They're here to get latest update. Let's start taking the questions. There's quite a few lined up if you see in the chat room. I think you should start, Norman. Whoever they want to ask.
Sorry, guys, I don't get that on my iPad, so I'm sorry. Well, you broke off, Norman. I'm just doing things.
Right. Okay.
And they get the same thing you guys get. That's all.
Norman, can you pull up some questions from the chat?
No, which one? Okay.
Because you're in control of it.
Yep. Okay. I've got really bad. Look, guys, you have to understand that the hearing from my side today has been shocking. I'm not hearing all what you're saying, so there's a bit of an issue there. And I have to agree with this. We need to stop. I agree with this. We need to stop going off track. We need to get back on track. There's a lot of comments going on the screen about that. So let's all please. So what's happened to Works? Can please someone tell me?
I don't know. I just heard he's injured. I think I'm not
Chris
entirely sure.
can answer that.
I'm not sure if he's out for the series. I mean, he must be pretty frustrated. You know, he's hardly played. I think he's played Test match for over a year now, due to being rested or going to India and COVID bubbles in Sri Lanka and all that. So yeah, he must be pretty frustrated because he would have been a pretty decent substitute for Ben Stokes. You know, his batting is not as good as Stokes. But he's certainly a decent enough number 7 in the Test side. So England will be we're certainly going to be a worse side without Stokes for the coming Test matches, that's for sure.
Yeah, so that's right, Chris. He's injured, and for England as of now, only Ben Stokes and Archer are out of the series. They have announced a 2-test squad, so maybe there is a possibility later coming back for Chris Stokes here.
You'd hope so.
Okay. The reality is we have a situation. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm having some visual and volume problems. Okay, can you hear me? Yep.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah.
Chris, can you hear me?
I have to leave now because I have a call to attend, a work call.
All right,
I suppose we'll be here.
You'll be on the pre-shows. Will you be able to be on for the pre-shows?
If I get free from work, then I'll be here for sure.
All right. Thanks, Gil.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Tomorrow's show will be specifically on the team selections, obviously the toss. An early prediction, Chris, on the toss. Do you think that's going to be of any importance?
Yeah, I guess it just depends what the pitch is looking like and what the weather's doing. You know, it's probably a place where you certainly might win the toss and bowl. So I don't see India. I don't see Kohli necessarily being brave enough to win the toss and bat if it's overcast. You know, I think that it would be interesting to see. I think the safe option is always going to be to bowl first if it's cloudy at Trent Bridge. So it'll be interesting to see what they do if they do win the toss.
Yeah, look.
I think Kohli has no luck.
It's luck.
He even lost all 5 tosses in 2018 series. You know that, so he's hadn't had any luck with the toss. So more likely, I think they won't be winning the toss. So whatever they get thrown at them, they just might have to work with that.
Yeah, there's a commentary here about Bhuvi Kumar not being included. What do you think, Naresh? Do you think he would be significant? He would be significant here if he was fit.
Well, English conditions would suit his style of bowling, but yeah, it is all, I think, the confidence in his fitness to last a 5-day test. That's why you see he's playing a lot of white ball to prove his fitness first. He played the series against England. He was there in the squad to Sri Lanka, played all the games. So that's the only way he can, prove his fitness. Otherwise, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is a huge asset in English conditions for the way he bowls.
Yeah. Look, I'm just fearful that India have gone in with a bowling lineup which is tried and tested. They should be bringing in Siraj in as soon as they possibly can, and I think that they may need to consider their bowling attack more carefully, because even though they've got a tried and tested team, they need to get some sort of appropriate bowl for appropriate conversation, appropriate bowls for appropriate pitches.
Yeah, but adding Siraj to the current lineup of Ishant, Bumrah, and Shami is weakening the batting, and that's the other area India, if you go to see, has struggled. The Indian top 5 have to show that confidence of big scores to play with 4 seamers, including Siraj. So, that's where Ashwin, Jadeja, Shardul Thakur will always be in contention, and Siraj would be a replacement to either of the 3 seamers.
Okay. So, Chris, from your perspective and your father's, this is a relevant question about the fullness of the bowling.
Yeah.
It's very important, a la James Anderson and Stuart Broad, to bowl full on these pitches. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. If it's going to swing, yeah, you want the Indian batsman coming forward and playing the big drives that they, look at. Virender Sehwag is always one that sticks to mind. Fantastic player, but struggled in England because he just didn't really move his feet and just chucked his hands through the ball, and that's why his record in England was a lot lower than it was, abroad. So,
you are God. I believe in you. You are dead right. They don't move their feet.
Yeah, it's the same, but it's the same for the Australians, isn't it? It's the same for the Pakistan team.
Yep. Pitch up a bit more.
Yeah. On flatter wickets in Australia or India, your eyes and your hands can get you out of trouble. And that's why, because it doesn't swing as much. So it comes to England. That's why the Aussies struggled last time, because, when Stuart Broad took 8 for 15, I think they were caught in the slips because they just pitched the ball up, it nibbled around a bit, and you have to play it later. Whereas the typical Indian way or the Australian way is to go harder at it with your hands and use your eyes. And that's why a lot more is caught in the slips. And that's just a consequence of the pitches that you're brought up on. It's not a bad thing. That's just why the subcontinent can struggle a little bit.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
You just spoke my language. You spoke my language just there. I've been waiting for it. You guys, I said to Chris, how would you bowl to Sachin or Lara? Well, I don't know. You just said right there, how would you bowl to the best players in the world? Kohli. You just do this and just do that. You know what, Chris? You are dead right. There you go. You've just knocked on the head.
Okay. So, Naresh, I want your thoughts here on the question regarding just quickly, we want to quickly that Suman Ashwathi says he thinks Ishwaran will make his debut tomorrow. He'll open with Rowan. Is that he really was the replacement opening bat? The fact that Agarwal's out, is that a plausible situation?
It is a possible situation because he is gone there in reserves, but as an opener. You know, KL Rahul, Vihari are playing more in the middle order, and that's the plan. But you know, it all depends. Is India wanting to, you know, get a debutant in the first game itself? You know, that's where the question is, or they want to go back to KL Rahul. Yeah, he got 100 in the last practice game, but he hasn't opened for long. So I think that is going to be a point of debate for India. Ishwaran, well, he's gone as an opener. He should be the one in contention, but we don't know how Virat and Shastri are thinking about it, looking at the conditions tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. I don't think they'll give a brand new opening batsman his first go of the Test series. I don't think they're going to do that, but I hope they give him a go because he's pretty classy, what I hear. Yeah. But at the same time, but again, Chris, what you were talking earlier about, Hamid, if he gets a Guernsey, Espararo may get a Guernsey too, on the basis of them both being young and exciting, perhaps. Do you think Hamid's a long-term choice?
5 years since he last played a Test match, and it's gone very quickly. You know, it's crazy. November 16, I think. I mean, it's a great story for him to come back, and I think that Indian press and Australian press will. If you forget tribalism and who your country are, sometimes you have to, you know, tip your hat and say that it's just a great story. You know, the guy was a revelation in India when he came in. You know, he got 80 odd in. I can't remember exactly where he got Mohali. Maybe did he get 80 in Mohali? Naresh might know. You know, you look at the next best thing. You know, everyone was touting the next Alistair Cook, and you know he got sacked. You know, he hurt his hand. He then literally didn't score a run for 2 years. You know, Lancashire released him. He didn't. He was playing second team cricket. They released him, and he's got rid of his. I think his dad had quite a big part in his coaching or in his development, and that was a big thing. I think why it went downhill, but. You know, he's gone back to Notts, so the county's given him a chance, and he's scored lots of runs, and he's forced his way back in. And you know, you have to. There's quite a lot of mental strength there to come back. So you know, I think everyone would just love to see him back in the mix because it's just a great story for him. So you know, 5 years in the doldrums to come back out is a big achievement, and I don't think he will play.
Chris,
Pardon?
Which one? Which player?
Hasim Hamid.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to ask this question, guys. Read that question. Aparna, can you read it?
Sure. One thing people are not talking about, India cannot get the tail up. So it's going to be the same story again, 150 for 5 out and then 290 for 10. And again, India will lose. What do you reckon?
Okay.
Who would like to answer that? Yeah.
Okay. For me, for India, there's loads of great players. We dream of playing for India. I don't, but there's loads who do, right? Billions. You got Kohli. You got Pant, the keeper batsman, right? I think he's brilliant. And you got Jasprit Bumrah. That's what you build your team around. In England, right? Now for England, we've got Joe Root, we've got Josh Butler, we've got Bairstow, by the way, Chris. I think he's brilliant. And we have two wild foxes in England on the green deck at Trent Bridge. James Anderson and Chris Broad. Now, they don't take almost 1,000 wickets between them because they're rubbish. So you fill in the blanks between both teams. I think England, if there's a green deck, well, actually, if it's a normal English wicket, which it should be, suiting English conditions, grass on the wicket, it's game over. That's my opinion, Norman. You might butt in. Naresh, you can all butt in. I've been there, done that, I've played there. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Alan, and on this point, that's, and England knows it, that India has struggled getting the tail out. Even recently in the final, the 30-odd lead with New Zealand got was purely because of where Tim Southee batted. So maybe they would play Sam Curran and Robinson because both can bat, and then have just and even Broad can score here and there. So you have Broad, Anderson, and probably one more bowler, Wood, or they go in with a spinner. But I think they would like to bat till 8, knowing the fact that India struggles with bowling to the tail, or rather not getting them out early.
Chris, I'm going to talk like as I played the game. Like I kind of might play the game. In England, you just pitch the ball up. I played a game against New Zealand. I was 20. And Norman, just don't butt in. I've got a trophy. It's there somewhere. Mum's got in the cabinet, right? And I was bowling at Grace Road, right? That's Leicester's home ground. Chris knows it quite well. And I was 20. And I was playing against New Zealand. And I bowled quick. And I was bowling bouncers and bumpers and all sorts for the first 2 overs against New Zealand. Chris Crowe, Martin Crowe, the whole lot. There's a chap who came from mid-wicket and said, "Hey, young man, please do me a favour. Just pitch the ball up and bowl like you're bowling on a flat wicket." I walked off with 6 or 20 against New Zealand. Now, if you guys know your cricket, who was that guy who just said, bowl like it's a flat wicket? He became an umpire, Norman, for England. He came from Northamptonshire, he played for Leicester. Peter Willey.
Okay, just a relevant point on.
So my point being is, just bowl like it's a flat wicket. Okay, I guess my point is, in England, bowlers it's green deck, it's nice and flat, and obviously Anderson and Broad know that, right? Do your thing. But in the real world, when they get to India, and the weather and the food, that's when it gets tricky, doesn't it?
Okay, just a quick point on this point here. Are we going to see 2 spinners in the Indian team or not? Are we going to see Ashwin and Jadeja both bowling or not? Naresh?
Yeah, as I said in the beginning, India would like to play the same side. Jadeja adds more to the batting than with the ball, and being a left-hander, he gets that advantage. But if he has to be replaced, it has to be Shardul Thakur, because Shardul can also bat a bit. So Jadeja or Shardul Thakur, but more or less the same side. And to the previous question, Rory Burns is also because he's a left-hander to open with. I think India struggles with left-handers. Even in the final, you saw the New Zealand left-handers in the beginning, and India has only Rishabh Pant as a left-hander. So that probably goes a little bit against India. They need to get left-handers to bowl well to, as well as in the middle, the batters to be left-handers. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'm just conscious of time now. We've gone almost 2 hours, which has been fantastic. I want everybody. I want the panelists. I want the viewers, including Ban Seboy Munchie, post the live series. I want you to put down in the comment zone your England team and your Indian team. And I want to see how close we go tomorrow to those teams. So all the people, Ban Seboy, Arpan, Suman, Garola, Arpan, Suman Awashi, Sam Soradeep, Malik, all of you, Shine Manager, I want you to put your comments post the interview in the comment section, not in the live chat zone, but in the comment section. And I want us as panelists to do it as well. So we couldn't keep Gil on for long. That was great. I want to thank Chris, Naresh, Alan for your time, and Aparna, of course, as well. Aparna is on the platform Cricket Conversation with Aparna Saini, as well as my Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kostek. We're going to be on tomorrow for the pre-show. I'm probably going to be doing a post-show which will be very early in the morning. The pre-show will be 3:30 Indian time. Sorry, no, it'll be actually 2:30 Indian time, 7 o'clock Australian time, and 10 o'clock in the morning England time. So they're the times tomorrow. There'll be the pre-shows, a preview of the day's play, and there'll be a post, which I'll talk more about as we go along. So that's the format for the 5 days of the test match in Nottingham with Trent Bridge. It'll be the same for the second test, which is at Lords, and so on. We'll go every day. We'll go an hour before play to talk about the day. We may do a post-show as well. And there'll be a preview of the whole test match leading into it. So there'll be roughly 10, 11 sessions will be going on. I'll get a whole bunch of people. We'll have a great time. So thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Norman. No, thanks, guys. Good to be back. And yeah, I'll try and. So I've got a very busy couple of weeks, but I'll try and pop on when I can.
Thank you, Naresh. Thank you very much. Gilal,
Thanks, Norman. Thanks, everyone.
Now,
Thank
can
you.
I say one thing?
Thanks, everyone.
Comedy front, right? Sparta,
Sorry,
Chris. I always leave things on a comedy front. Okay. Sparta, Chris, Naresh, Norman.
looking at a great test series. Thanks, Chris.
Take
Alan.
a photo
Thanks,
of
Naresh.
Norman, right? He looks like Jim Carrey with a beard. Jim Carrey, a Hollywood actor. Sparta, you would know
It's
that.
big.
So would you, Chris.
All right. Well, the beard's going to go for sure. All right, guys. Thanks. Partner and I are going to have a monologue post or
I think it's Christmas in July for Norman.
All right, Naresh. Thank you, Chris.
Add
Thanks,
me on
Alan.
Facebook.
We'll see you next time. Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Naresh, yeah.
Thank you.
We'll leave
Thank
us
you.
with a
Thank
partner
you.
and I will stay on.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Okay.
Guys, have a good one.
See you, Alan. See you,
Bye-bye.
Chris.
Bye.
You guys are right. I can look after my mum.
All right, Alan, we'll say
Thanks for
goodbye.
that.
Alan, we'll say goodbye. Ciao, ciao.
To who? You.
Partner and I will have a quick chat. Alan, please, we'll talk to you later.
Well,
We've
sign me
been on
off.
for 2 hours.
I told this to Mum. Sign me off then, man. And
All
by
right,
the
thanks
way-
for wearing the hat, Alan.
And
Ciao,
by the
ciao.
way, Spanner, that is a scratch of cricket ball.
Okay, all right. Another show. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
You know, I saw a comment in there. Actually, Norman, it's a funny one. They said that if you're supporting India, what quality grade that the sandpaper should be for India to win?
The quality.
Yeah, what quality sandpaper? What quality of the sandpaper do you suggest? I'm just reading one of the comments. It was in there. I thought it was funny.
Spanner, now
Alan,
take me
I'll
cap
say
off.
goodbye to you, Alan. Ciao. Alan was saying goodbye. Okay? Ciao. All right.
He's funny. He's good.
So we were up and on for 2 hours.
We had a
so
full
you
house
need to
today.
Talk about your cricket conversation with. So we've got the series coming up. We've got the 5 test matches. It's going to be a pretty long haul. Cricket conversations. You're going to try and get some interviews directly on your show. Did you actually release your Steve Waugh episode?
Not yet. Actually, I was on the phone with I'm trying to sort something out. So within an hour or two, I actually after I saw you today, I felt pretty tired from that wind blowing on my face, and I was trying to hold my ground pretty much. So yeah, well, I couldn't get a hold of something. But yeah, I'll sort it out, and it should be out tonight for sure. So Indian timing, I think before midnight, I would say. So have something to do before the match starts.
The Steve Waugh and
No, just one. Just
Mrs. McQuarrie.
Yeah, that same one. Yeah. Yes,
The 2.
that's coming before you. Actually, 3.
3. Okay. All right. Make sure you listen on your cricket conversations with a Pakistani. I'm going to get rid of this beard. I'm getting sick of it now, and we'll talk more soon again. But do you?
Oh
do you
no,
have
I think
anything
it
else
looks.
you want to add? So
I think
Steve
it
Waugh
looks
one
good, Norman. Don't
specifically.
do that.
You've done the Steve Waugh one specifically, didn't you?
Yes.
How long was that? I mean, I
Yes.
was there, but still.
I think 2 months, 3 months now, I think.
10 minutes?
Oh, but timing. You're very hard to. Your voice isn't very clear, Norman. I think you're something wrong with your
Now you can't hear me.
either the device
You
or.
can't hear me?
I
All
hear
right.
you, but very late. You've been
Okay.
like this whole night. Anyway, so it's probably I think 20 minutes, around 20 minutes, Mark.
Okay, good.
Not as
All right,
long
so
as
you've got
your
three
one, but
things. You've got the Steve Orr show, you've got the Mrs. Macquarie's chair or Ladies Macquarie's chair, and the third one we did a small skit. All right, coming up on
yes.
Partner is Cricket Conversations with Partner. So, guys, don't forget to
All
put
right.
your teams in the comment section of the post chat. All right, Partner, all the best.
Thank you for tonight, Norman, host, co-host. So everyone out there, this is a collaboration. You can all subscribe on my channel, which is Cricket Conversation with Aparna Seni, and whoever is watching from Cricket Conversation, you can subscribe. Do it now to Eyes on Cricket with Norman Partnak, and we'll bring you more exciting stuff throughout this whole series. Thank you for having me tonight, Norman. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Partner, I'll say goodbye to you now. I'll do my little blast bit.
Okay, cheers.
Ciao, ciao. All right, everyone. So we've had Gurkarat Singh Gill, we've had Chris Vernon, we've had Naresh Manuskani, we've had Chris Alamalele, we've had obviously Aparna Sani as well, and myself on the show. What about the Kashmir Premier League? I haven't followed that. You need to give me an update. Savitha Pisati, you need to give me an update. Okay. Any side is difficult too. Surely they won't pick the play two spinners. It's going to be a lot of interesting aspects there. Thanks for saying I was audible. So I'm here. Could you give me, can you actually give me that 11 in the post comments, please? Okay. So you're saying that, so that's going to be the 11. Sharma and Rahul, Pujara, Kohli, Rahane, Punt, Ashwin, Thakur, Sharma, Ishant. I think there's 1 too many players there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11. Yeah, you've left out. Siraj is still not getting Guernsey there, which is interesting. All right, guys. We've gone for a long enough period of time now. We need to make sure that we follow the series coming up. The series, of course, is going to be over a period of 5 days in 5 matches. So 25 days in full. We'll have pre-shows again there at 3:30 Indian time. No, there's 2:30 p.m. Indian time, which is basically 7 p.m. my time and 10 a.m. England time. Okay. All right. Siraj will be there through the series. Whether he's there for the first match will be the question that we have to work out. All right, guys. All of you take care. We'll speak very soon. Unless you've got any more further questions to bring up, you'll have to tell me about your questions, because otherwise we're going to hit the road. It'll definitely be a low scoring series. There's no doubt about that. Take care, FS. Well, England. 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 Okay. So Australia versus Bangladesh. I'm having all sorts of problems with my reception here. What is the score? So Australia are 3 for 30, 3 for 45 after 8.3. It's a very slow start. So Bangladesh are 7 for 131. Australia are 3 for 45 after 8.3. They're going to have to get the wriggle on there, I think. But anyway, all right, guys. Thanks for your time. Take care. We'll talk to each other very soon. Make sure that you view, like, and share the post. People are not subscribing as much. I'd like you to keep subscribing. Anderson will go well. He's a massive form in big games. True. Certainly, let's look at the private chat we got there. Alan, you're still there. What happened to you? Alan? I'll say goodbye, everybody. All the best. Bye bye.